Welcome back to Photography for the Rest of Us, a place for people who love the art of photography. My name's Carrie, and this is week 4, day 2 of our Learn Photo Challenge. All right, you guys, day 2, we're moving right along. I know not all of you have completed day 1. That's totally fine. That's why we're doing 5 challenges in 7 days instead of 7 challenges in 7 days, because I, like everybody else, we all have lives, right? So there's only so much we can fit in. So you have time, don't stress, but we are moving on to day 2. So today's prompt is under the bed. And I'm really excited because I like coming up with like really out of the box stuff, right? Well, I mean, my images aren't really out of the box as much as I like these abstract kind of prompts. So you guys, I'm sure, saw on the cover photo, but this is the photo that I came up with, and I want to talk you guys through it a little bit. And I'm going to do it a little bit differently today because everybody learns differently. And so the way that, like, the process and the way you understand things aren't all, like, we're not all the same. So I wanted to kind of take it from a different angle. Now, first thing that you notice from this one is that it's significantly moodier than yesterday's, right? Like, yesterday was pop and color and a little nostalgia and very like 70s film feeling, right? And today is moody and creepy and dark and that. And I do want to say that under the bed doesn't have to be scary. You could have like the cutest little dust bunny or whatever. Interpret how you want. I decided to go dark and creepy and scary. What I want to do is kind of talk you through this process again. I did shoot a video that'll go over some stuff in just like 2 seconds, but I want to start out with saying that I started with the same type of an idea, right? I Googled ideas, and honestly, I wasn't super impressed with them. Like, a lot of people that are amazing artists that can draw did some amazing stuff, but like photography wise, this doesn't seem to be a prompt that's ever really been that's ever really happened before. So I kind of took inspiration from some artists who had done some drawings, and then like my own perceptions, which is a big deal and stuff. And then the whole creepy vibe, like, my thought was, okay, let's think about lighting and how this would happen. If there was a monster under her bed, she would be in the dark, it would be nighttime, and she'd probably have like a flashlight or something, like, you know, when kids hide under the covers with a flashlight kind of thing. So I wanted it to have that kind of a feel of the like looking under her bed with a flashlight because she's been sitting above her bed scared with a flashlight and all that. I don't let my child actually be scared of that. So that was the vibe. And the reason I'm talking to you guys about it is that yesterday we focused on color, and today I want you to focus on mood. I want the mood of an image. Now, it doesn't have to be a scary mood. It can be a happy and joyous mood, especially for under the bed. It could be like a portal to your version of Narnia kind of a thing. It could be anything you want. But I want you to think about the mood you're creating with your image, and then how you're going to create that mood for your image, okay? So here is my short little demo, a drawing. I didn't draw this time. I gave you guys a minute. But my short little demo drawing on how I figured out the lighting for this. Okay, so rather than having you guys have to watch me draw, I drew ahead of time for you guys this time. But I want to talk you through it real quick. So this is the drawing that I did, my daughter peeking out under the bed with a flashlight, and then I wanted like a creepy green hand in the corner of that. And so this is kind of the concept that I had, and this is how it turned out, right? Like, this is pretty decent. I think that it fits my vision. I even like that, you know, I didn't sweep beforehand, so it looks kind of dusty and dirty and under the bed and that kind of stuff. And I'm going to show you a behind the scenes in a second. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about is like thinking about the light and thinking about the positioning, because you can really look at an image and kind of dissect like how the light happened. So when you first glance at this image, I think the natural inclination and kind of what I, as the photographer and the artist, wanted everybody to think was what was lighting up the area was the flashlight, right? So we would get light coming from the flashlight. But what is the problem with that? The problem is if the light was coming from the flashlight, her face would be like all sorts of in shadow, right? Like
And she wouldn't have the catch lights in her eyes that you can see right there, the little dots. She wouldn't have those. So it would be... she wouldn't have the catch lights in her eyes. And that... So... Like, that can't be what the situation is, right? Like, this can't actually be how it was lit. So let's talk about how it could have been lit and see if we can figure it out. So the number one way to figure things out, right, are these catch lights. If you see the catch lights, you can tell that there was an external source that wasn't just the flashlight, because the flashlight is in front of her face. There's zero possibility that the flashlight is creating that light, right? So there has to be another light source. And if we look at the catch lights, the light source is coming from this way, which makes sense because if you also look at the shadows, you see how it's dark on the one side of her nose. And then there's highlights on the fingers and shadows on the other side. So that tells us that this flashlight isn't actually producing any light, but that there was an external source going this way, right? And shining up to create the image. But it's subtle enough that when you first glance at it as a viewer, you think, oh, it's because of the flashlight, right? So let's see some behind the scenes images and see if we got it right.
Okay, and so like I said, I want to show you guys the behind the scenes. This is our behind the scene photo. Now, if you notice, all of my lights are on. It is not dark and scary in the room. Also, the strobe is right here, laying on the floor, completely bare bulb, no modifier at all. I could have 100% used a speed light. And the flashlight absolutely did nothing. In fact, I enhanced the glow a little bit in post because the amount of light that was coming out of the flashlight was just not enough for my camera to be able to see. So this is behind the scene of that photo. Crazy, huh? Like, she's not even in a bed. She's on a table. This is a coffee table that I have, and a blanket that I keep on my couch, and the kid and the husband and a flashlight and a strobe, and that's it. And like I said, you could totally use a speed light. You could probably even use like a lamp or something if it was a strong enough, like an LED light, like something that's pretty strong. Okay, so thinking about mood and thinking about how I created that look, right? Let's talk about some settings. So in order to get the vibe that I wanted, I actually was kind of okay with the hand being a little out of focus, but I didn't want it a lot out of focus. So I was at f8 for this image, and that gave me that darkness behind her and that darkness with the hands without, and the out of hand being a little bit out of focus, but not everything totally out of focus, because I wanted it to be like not human-y looking, you know, my lovely husband, the hand model. I wanted it to look just a little bit not right. And so I think pushing it just like a tad out of focus kind of did that for me. Shutter speed, I was at, I think I was at 250. Yeah, 250, which is as fast as I can go for my strobe. I could have gone slower. I didn't need to because I didn't need ambient light. I really just wanted that one little light source. And like I talked about in that video, my light source, I wanted it to appear to be coming from the flashlight, even though it wasn't really coming from the flashlight. Does that make sense? Because the flashlight wasn't going to be strong enough. And it wouldn't have had the catch lights, and her face would have been in shadow. Like, the flashlight wasn't going to do what I needed it to do, but I wanted the flashlight in the image, and I wanted it to show what, you know, it's really just a prop, and part of the cast of the image. And then, yeah, shutter speed, ISO 100, because I actually think I bumped it up to 250 at one point. I don't know if it was for this image or not, because I wanted to get a little bit more glow out of that flashlight, and because ISO is what controls how sensitive your camera is to light. If I make it more sensitive to light, then I can pick up more of that flashlight light. If I'd been doing this in a situation where I couldn't get enough power from my strobe, I could have absolutely brought it up more. the ISO up more, because a little bit of noise wouldn't have been a bad thing for this image, and it would have made that flashlight glow even, more so. So that is kind of the idea behind this image, right? And what I wanted to show you guys was that, well, photography is a big lie, right? Like, we lie to everybody all the time. We're like, oh yeah, it's a beautiful image, but like, we're there, right? We see how ugly sometimes these things are, and it's a matter of understanding our light and understanding our settings and understanding our lens compression and understanding all of these things that make these beautiful images out of like less beautiful situations. And then a matter of like going through all the steps. So I found inspiration. I came up with an idea. I figured out the lighting that I want because I understood that the flashlight wasn't going to be the primary source of light, and that I wanted it to be moody and shadowy. So if I'd wanted it, I didn't want to have the light straight on, because I wanted to create shadows so that it looked like maybe the light was just coming from under the bed, or from the door, and sliding under the bed. Wow, words. Sliding under the bed, or it was coming from the flashlight, and like you weren't really thinking about where that light was coming from. It would have been really cool maybe to do a sliver of light if I'd wanted to, so it did look like it was just kind of like creeping out from under the door. But the idea with photography is it's all about perception, right? Like, we can make anything look like however we want it to. I do want to show you guys, this is straight out of camera, and this is edited. So I've been showing you guys the edited version, but I do like showing straight out of camera. So this is straight out of camera. I did add some color grading to the image to make it look a little spookier. And of course I tinted his hand a little green so that it looked a little creepier. But yeah. So if you have any questions, please comment below, or just say hi again. Hey, week 4, how you doing? Comment below, like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. My analytics say about 50% of you have subscribed, which is insane to me, because like, we've been doing this for a month now. Like, just push the subscribe button. I'm not going to do anything. Also, as always, continue to post your images on Instagram with #LearnPhotoChallenge and #photos for the rest of us. I know I don't like them all. Like, I tend to get on there and like do them all in one round, but I am seeing them and I am loving them. They're great. And then obviously on our Learn thread in the Learn Facebook group. If you're not part of the group, please join. The link is below in the description. I am having a great time with this. I really hope you guys have fun with this one. You don't have to go dark and scary. You could do totally silly. You could do cute and sweet. Under the bed. Let me see what you got. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.